Hi students, I welcome you all for control system lectures. In the previous class, we have gone through the concept of analogous system. In analogous system, we learned how to convert a mechanical system into electrical system and vice versa. Basically, in mechanical system, we'll be having the input parameters like force and torque, and we are converting in terms of electrical system. We'll be representing in terms of voltage or current, right? So in this class, we are going to discuss what is the feedback system and the effects of feedback system, different parameters that affects the feedback system, right? Okay, fine. Let us consider a closed loop control system with a negative feedback gain. So this is the block diagram for negative feedback control system, where R of S is the reference input, E is the error, G of S is the plant, and H of S is the feedback gain, C of S is the measurement, right? So from the block diagram, how to calculate the error? Error is nothing but error E is nothing but R of S minus H of S into C of S, right? What we'll do, we'll take the current measurement, that is C of S at current instant, that is equal to G of S into E. When I'm calculating at the time instant currently, we have to take G of S into the past error actually. This error at that current instant is actually calculated from here, from R of S minus H of S into C of S. So what we'll do, we'll substitute error in C of S, that is C of S is equal to G of S into R of S minus H of S into C of S, right? Now we'll just multiply G of S, R of S minus G of S, H of S into C of S, right? Now we'll send this negative term on left side so that we can take common of C of S. C of S can be taken common, 1 plus G of S into H of S, right? That is equal to G of S into R of S. Fine. Now we'll take C of S by R of S, that is output by input. C of S by R of S C of S by R of S is equal to G of S R of S, sorry, G of S, R of S is sent this side, so G of S by 1 plus G of S into H of S. This is a closed loop equation, simple closed loop equation for negative feedback control system. So now as we told in the before like preceding section, that there are four terms, four parameters that are getting influenced from the feedback gain H of S. So what is the first one? It is gain, overall system gain. So this is actually a transfer function. This can be given as the overall gain of a negative feedback control system as well. So this we can refer it as transfer function. And if you are telling a transfer function and asking for overall system gain, this is referred as C of S to R of S. So for a first gain, overall gain, so what happens if the feedback gain H of S is manipulated, right? In a block diagram, if you see, H of S is the feedback gain, right? Feedback gain is H of S, and if I am giving certain values to H of S, what will happen to overall system? So let us consider H of S and the function of G of S, H of S, like that is a denominator factor, G of S and H of S is greater than 1, or else 1 plus g of s h of s is higher value, right? This is equivalent to 1 plus gh I'll write, instead of writing of s term I'll write simply as gh, which is higher or greater than 1. So what happens if it is greater than 1 or higher value? What if I am increasing this h of s? So since the denominator 1 plus g of s h of s is the denominator factor, so overall gain, that is c of s to r of s, will come down actually, right? When I am increasing g of s h of s value, since it is in the denominator, overall gain when I am calculating, the numerator value will come down. That means overall gain will come down actually, right? So overall gain will decrease. Overall gain will decrease if I am increasing GH, right? Similarly, what happen if I am decreasing GH value? If the GH value, if it is less than 1, or 1 plus GH is actually less than 1, if I am decreasing this term, it is getting decreased, right? What happens to overall gain? Denominator value will come down. If I am numerator value, if I am reducing, so overall gain C of s to R of s will increase, right? TF will be increasing if I am reducing the denominator factor. So therefore, if you observe the gain, feedback gain h of s in terms of overall gain, if I am reducing it, the overall gain will increase. If I am increasing it, overall gain will decrease. It is a reciprocal, right? So that is with the gain. So that is the effect of feedback with respect to gain. Okay, second term is sensitivity. So let us consider as what is sensitivity? Sensitivity is defined as percentage change in overall transfer function to percentage change in g of s, right? So we have overall transfer function gain, that is g of s by 1 plus g of s h of s, and we have a percentage change in g of s. How I can write this? It is a partial derivative, right? Percentage change dou t by t to dou g by g. So I can rewrite this in this way: dou t by dou g into g by t, right? So what I am doing, I am rewriting the same equation, sensitivity equation, in terms of 2 parameters. So individually I can take this and this one separately, right? So let us consider the first part. This one we'll see, and this I will make it as 2. Okay, from 1 dou t by dou g is equal to dou by dou g of what is t? G by 1 plus gh. It is simple transfer function, negative feedback transfer function, overall gain t transfer function, right? So when I am differentiating, the partial derivative, if I am doing by a by b, what we will get? A dash b plus ab dash by b square, right? So A by B, that means 1 plus GH, G derivative is 1 minus then the derivative of this is actually G into derivative of this is H, right, divided by 1 plus GH whole square. Therefore, what happens? 1 plus GH minus GH divided by 1 plus GH whole square, right? So dou T by dou G is equal to 1 by 1 plus GH whole square, right? Let us consider this as A. Then we'll solve the next term, that is G by T, right? See, we have solved here, we have solved 1, now we are solving for 2, G by T. Now what happens if I am writing a G by T? Actually, what is G? G is nothing but, what is G? G is nothing but, what is T? What is overall transfer function T? T is G by 1 plus GH. T is equal to 1 G by 1 plus GH. From here, what is G by T? G by T is equal to 1 plus GH. Right, now we got this as well. Let it be B. We'll take this as B. Right, from A and B, what is that equation? Dou T by dou G into G by T is equal to 1 by 1 plus GH whole square into 1 plus GH. Cancel out these terms, cancel out, and what we get is 1 plus GH. So this is nothing but the sensitivity, right? Sensitivity for G, overall G, and transfer function T. Okay, so now as we did for gain, what happens if I am changing H, that is feedback gain? It is as similar as the gain, overall gain what we got. If I am increasing H value, GH, if GH is greater than 1, overall sensitivity will come down. Sensitivity will come down for this case, and if the GH is less than 1, so overall sensitivity will go high, right? So this is how the feedback will affect the sensitivity. Feedback gain will affect the sensitivity, right? Now let us take the stability. So what does the stability means? How you define the stability? Stability is actually described whether it will describe whether the system will be able to follow the input command or not. See, suppose if you are giving certain input to the plant, and this is the reference input, and if your plant is following this, the plant is following your input, then it is said to be stable. It is said to be stable. If you are giving certain input to the system, and if it is going unstable, like this kind of response if you are getting, then system is unstable. Like how we are telling, see, we are giving certain input, and your response, that output is following your input, and here if you see here the output is not following, it is going somewhere else, therefore it is unstable. So how this feedback actually affecting stability? stability. So how this stability is affecting the feedback? From the transfer function, right? If the transfer function, what is the transfer function? T by F is equal to G by 1 plus GH. So for the transfer function, if GH is equal to minus 1, what happens? Overall transfer function will be infinity, because here if I am substituting GH is equal to minus 1, G by 0, since denominator is 0, transfer function will be infinity. That means your response will go in out of boundary, right? So it is unpredictable and unstable response. Similarly, if your gain, if the feedback gain GH is positive, what happens? If the feedback gain, if GH is equal to 1, G by 2, that means it is within the boundary, right? So this is how the stability is influencing, that means the feedback is influencing the stability, right? Similarly, for the same system, I am telling the feedback gain, if it is going to negative minus 1, the system is going unstable. For this, say I will draw the diagram, it will be clear for you. G, and let us take feedback gain is say H, feedback gain is H, and here as I said the feedback is minus 1. So when GH is minus 1, it is actually influencing, and the system is going to unstable. And what if I am giving another feedback here, say F, and I will take it to another error detector, and I will give to R of S. So this is E1, this is E2. So if I am writing the block reduction, system equation for this, what happens is C of S by R of S is equal to G by 1 plus GH minus GF. So, sorry, plus GF, right? So what happens? The effect due to H actually can be compensated if I am giving another gain here, GF. So if I am increasing number of loops, and if I could able to give another gain which can compensate, if I am giving this as minus 1 and if I am giving this as 1, what happens? This will affect, this minus 1 will affect this plus 1, and these two will get cancelled out, and overall G of S, H of S will be your transfer function G, right? So there is a chance that the system is still can be stable by introducing extra feedback, right? So when your system is degrading in terms of stability, you can compensate by adding or removing the feedback loops based on the respective gains actually, right? This is on feedback due to effect of a feedback gain on stability. Then coming to the fourth topic, that is effect of feedback on external disturbance, right? Effect of feedback due to external disturbance. So where the system disturbance, sorry, take it. External disturbance. Fine. So let me draw the diagram and I'll explain where the disturbance will occur actually. So same diagram, let us consider R and G1. There is an error here, detector here, and let us take G2 here, and we'll give disturbance in between G1 and G2. I say D1, right? So here I'll calculate E2, E1. I'll take the feedback gain is H, and it will be given here, right? So disturbance and external disturbance to any process, actually how the feedback can compensate it, right? In many in many cases, feedback can reduce the effect of noise. Actually, like we don't know where noise is coming. Like see, for example, if you consider a level tank or a air conditioner, what happens if you open the door? Like you turn on the air conditioner and you open the door, so the effect of disturbance will compensate. Like see, suppose what happens if you open the door and increase the condenser, I mean that AC rate, like I mean if you reduce the temperature in the AC, compressor rate, so called compressor rate, if you are increasing, so though you open the door, the effect will act more, the effect of AC, the compressor effect will be more, and it will try to reduce the room temperature, right? So what happens, okay, fine, I'll take this as C of S, okay. So what is C of S here actually? It is actually D1, right? D1, it is a function of D1 and G2. Okay, let it be the external disturbance and G2. Say C of S is equal to G2 into D1, right? So in the presence of feedback, the system output due to D1, right? Now I have to write the feedback equation, total equation with respect to D1 as well. So what happens is C of S is equal to G2 divided by 1 plus G1, G2 and H with D1, right? So now what happens? The effect of feedback gain G1, I mean H, G1, G2 with H, how it is actually affecting with the disturbances. So if your disturbance effect is higher, which is in the numerator, you can compensate it by manipulating gain, feedback gain H, right? So similarly, if you are trying to increase the D1 as well, so what we will try to do is we'll reduce this effect, H effect. Similarly, I mean due to H, overall transfer function, overall disturbance in the loop can be reduced, right? So these are different parameters which in which the feedback can affect your system. Feedback, either it can be positive or a negative, how it can affect your system performance, right? So coming to the benefits of feedback. So what happens if you are now from these study, from all these four performances, we can understand that we can take it as accuracy. If you are trying to increase the accuracy, what is actually accuracy? Accuracy is the difference of expected minus true. That is actually, say, error. Here in our case, R of S minus C of S, or C of S, H of S. C of S, H of S. So, if you are trying to reduce this error, that means if you are giving certain input to the plant, and say your plant output is like this, and you have error. If you have error, that means your accuracy is poor, right? So for the plants, if you are giving certain input and if it is tracking, it is having higher accuracy. Like it is actually following the set point. It means the error, the closed loop system, it can be designed to drive the process output. See, actually whatever we are doing is we are trying to drive the process output such that this error can be negligible, or we can make it zero. We have to either reduce it, or we have to make it zero, so that your accuracy can be improved. By introducing feedback to the loop, we can actually increase the accuracy, so that your feedback gain can be compensating your process output, right? And sensitivity, your sensitivity can be manipulated, right? The system may be designed, you can seek to zero error despite of changing in parameters. If at all you have any changes in parameters in your system, that can be compensated by manipulating the feedback gain. Similarly, another one we discussed, that is effect of disturbance. So effect of disturbance can be negligible, or we can actually attenuate or decrease the disturbance by manipulating the feedback gain, right? So that is one benefit we can get it from. Basically, we can be able to measure, and based on the measurement we are taking the decision. So that is the reason we can actually get the disturbance rejected from the plant. And we can actually, if you want to increase the speed, we can increase the speed of the process. Speed or bandwidth we can vary. We can increase or change the bandwidth so as to we can get higher productivity. So these all things can be possible if you have a feedback control loop, right? So then the next topic is the block diagram algebra. We'll just give a brief introduction to block diagram algebra, then we'll wind up the session for today. Block diagram algebra. So whatever we are doing till now, actually we actually touched up with block diagram already. We solved how to get the feedback equation. That is actually block diagram reduction method. I mean block diagram we have used, and what we need to do is whatever the blocks you are giving it, like actually what is that block, before actually going to the block diagram reduction. So what actually block tells is something how the system is behaving. We are just representing the block diagram in terms of a black box, and telling that okay, the system dynamics in terms of a blocks, right? If the plant, if power plant or whatever, if you are considering some plant, it will be having so many loops, and it will be having so many variables. So altogether, if you are trying to control a particular system, either we can actually manipulate it, or we can we can reduce it so as to get maximum performance, right? So okay, fine. Then today's class will wind up here, and we'll look into more on what is block diagram algebra in the next class. So thanks for your attention. We'll see you in the next class.